Well, we're in the studio today with the newly elected president, Honorable Fred Smalls. He's here to talk about the 150th anniversary, Keep Kids Alive, Drive 25. We're going to touch upon all of that when we return. And thank you for returning. We are here for another edition of Council Connections. As I mentioned earlier, we have in the studio with us Honorable Fred Smalls. Now, I said you're the newly elected president, and since you've been elected, this is the first time we've had you on. So to us, it is newly elected, but it was back in November, December that you were right. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now, you talked about you have a number of different initiatives that you want to let our viewers know about. Let's start with Keep Kids Alive.
Well, Keep Kids Alive, Drive 25 is a program that was initiated several years ago by the late Councilwoman Jan Robinson and myself, and it's designed to bring awareness to motorists and residents of the city to obey our traffic laws primarily, and it works in conjunction with any programs that our police department and other departments in the city may be running for motorist awareness to reduce speeds. So it's a very important program. We will be, as a council, going out to the community. We'll be talking to homeowner associations and PTAs and that sort of thing. We'll also be asking residents to allow us to post signs that just say, Keep Kids Alive, Drive 25, as reminders as motorists are moving around the city to obey our traffic laws.
And I'm sure that a lot of this is because it seems to me that it's been this school year that we've heard about people, you know, basically flying by buses when they have the red lights. Bus accidents, there seems to have been a lot. So I think that's a great idea to get the awareness back out there.
Oh, yes, yes.
So we'll look forward to seeing those signs up, especially along the school routes, so people will know.
Right. So again, as I said, we will be placing yard signs with the permission, obviously, of homeowners and businesses around the city, so look out for them. But just, I think more importantly, to just remind people to drive within posted speed limits. That's the idea.
Right.
And that's always been the idea of keeping our communities safe.
Right.
And with kids, with spring break coming up soon and those kinds of things, weather's changing, so kids are out more on their bicycles, playing ball, to just be aware. And I think to sum it up, to ask motorists to just follow the posted speed limits.
Slow it down.
Yes.
All right, so next, I've heard a rumor that the city of Laurel is celebrating something next year. And I think it's 150 years, is that correct?
150 years.
So what do we have planned or planning, or what's going on?
Well, I'll just say that the city was first incorporated back in 1871. And over the years, there have been a variety of different commemorations of the city's history, 50 years, I think 100 years. So we're now doing the 150 year, and it's in the planning stages, obviously, right now. The mayor's office, we've put together, the council has approved a committee that will be coming up with activities for the event or events, because there's going to be a series of different kinds of activities that are going to take place. So this is all in the very early planning stages right now, but look out, because there will be a lot more information that will be shared through our communications department, through the mayor's office, the council office. So it's just going to be a great time to celebrate the city. The city, as anyone who's been around the city for any length of time, has seen the growth.
Yes.
And what most of us consider very positive growth.
Smart growth,
in the city, absolutely. And with that growth, there's also been the preservation of a lot of our neighborhoods, particularly in Ward 1, where the communities are walkable. There's a strong sense of community. Ward 2 is beginning to have that same connection through communities. So to bring the entire city community together, businesses, residential, students, et cetera.
Government, yeah.
Government, to celebrate 150 years of success, I think is going to be a great effort and something that we should all celebrate.
Well, we look forward to hearing about the different activities at the last big committee meeting that you had. I know that there was talk about a multicultural day.
Absolutely.
There was talk about a carnival, a festival, and especially we want to have the gala, because I remember the 125th when they had the gala over at the racetrack. That was a lot of fun. We all dressed up back in the olden days with the hoop skirts, and the gentleman had it was really fun. So I'm looking forward to seeing what you all have planned for that.
Well, we enjoy in this city a very rich diversity of residents. So to celebrate that multicultural diversity and to bring awareness to the entire community of the diversity of the city, I think is very important. Very important. When you look at the city's latest census data, you'll see that we're a majority minority municipality, and we need to embrace that. And I think this 150-year celebration is going to be one of the ways that we will celebrate our great diversity.
How well we've grown and come. Yes, I'll look forward to it. Up next, now you're being the president, I'm sure you've sat down with a lot of the council members to talk about what you'd like to see happen in 2019.
Yes.
Do you have any ideas or initiatives that they've spoken to you about that you'd like to let our viewers know?
Sure. When I first took the seat as president, I set out to meet individually with each council member to get a sense of the direction they individually want to go in and how we as a council can support that, and to just share with them what my desire and my goal as a council president was, and that is to bring the council together to promote efforts that the council wants to undertake as a council, and to get support from the administration on those efforts. So just to mention just a couple of things. For instance, Councilman Sidnor, who represents Ward 2, has a great interest in our youth.
Yes.
So he's already, there have been a couple of events that he has put on. I've been very supportive of his efforts in that area. So doing things that will help promote his interest in the youth is very important, because the benefits are obvious.
Yes.
I don't think I need to go into
They're
any detail.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I don't need to go into any detail with that. Councilwoman Nicholas, as many of us know, is very interested and engaged with our homeless community, as well as victims of domestic violence.
Yes.
So in helping support her, we have been talking about planning sometime perhaps in the spring, maybe early summer, some forums and town hall meetings that will help bring some light, shed some light on some of the issues regarding homelessness, regarding domestic violence, and more importantly, to highlight where people can go to get help.
Good.
Yes, so that's something that's very important to Councilwoman
Yeah,
Nicholas.
she's very passionate about that.
Councilman Les is our he's our historian. He's our the amount of knowledge and experience that Councilman Les has is immeasurable. So he's our go-to guy for just about anything and just about any topic you want. So we value very much as a council what Councilman Les brings to the table as well. So we're all moving forward in working to identify and promote our individual desires, but bringing it all together as a council for the good of the city.
And let them get their initiatives out there and help the rest. That's what they're here for, to help the people in their wards, right?
That's exactly right.
All right.
Yes.
All right, so we are in the beginning of the year. That usually means budget process begins, correct?
That's correct.
Yes, yay, everybody's favorite. It has to be done. We need a balanced budget. And I know that the city starts very early to get this process started. So is there anything that you can tell our viewers about what's happening with that right now?
Well, right now the budget is in the hands, obviously, of the mayor and the city departments. And so once the departments and the mayor have completed their budget preparation, the budget's then submitted to the council. It then becomes the council's budget. What the council does, for those who may not know, is there are a series of public hearings that are held as we review each department's budget. We discuss in great detail each department's budget, and the council will make its recommendations, if appropriate, on any adjustments that we may recommend to any departmental budget. Once the council's, the council has completed its review, we will then vote on it, and we, by law, have to have our budget voted upon and adopted by a certain date.
Right.
So we take it all very seriously, and usually the council president will appoint a budget committee that will have very specific questions that will be directed to departments either for clarification or for other reasons. And then we'll bring that to our public meetings and discuss openly in public. But it's very important to stress that the entire budget process is very transparent. It's open and available to the public. We do post the draft budget online, so it's available for any of our citizens to review. And we strongly encourage our residents to submit comments. Once it's up and available, to submit comments to the council, because the budget supports the efforts to run the city.
Right.
And so we love hearing from the residents of the city, whether it's criticism or positive. We want to hear from them.
Every comment helps.
Yes, every comment helps, absolutely.
And also, if you can't make it down, you would love to see people come down and actually sit in these different sessions that you have when you go over the budget, the work sessions, and review all of this. But if not, then you can watch here on Laurel TV.
Yes.
We do air those meetings live, so make sure that you keep an eye out for that. We'll make sure to post those on social media once we know when those meetings are going to be.
Yes.
Well, that's all I have on my list. Is there anything else that you wanted to talk about that you thought of in our conversation here?
I just want to once again talk about the council's commitment to advancing and moving our city forward. And talking about the budget and talking about our city's history. I was looking over some documents recently, and one of the things that jumped out at me is that talking about budget, in 1979, the city had an annual budget of just over $1.5 million.
Yes, I know. Isn't that something?
Our budget now, FY19 budget, is $34+ million. So the city has grown. The city's diversity is something to celebrate, and we are, and I can say this
unequivocally,
we are the envy of many municipalities, not just around the state, but around the country. When you think about the fact that we as a city were among the first in the nation to go with body cameras for our police officers. And I proudly say that the council, when that was presented to us, had no qualms, because we saw it as something that was going to be safe for our police officers as well, and most importantly, our citizens.
Exactly.
So we moved forward with that without a lot of issues back and forth with it. So there are a number of things that we have been working on that we're very proud of, and we've just watched our city blossom. I've been on a council. I was first elected in 2002.
I know.
And one of the questions I used to always have in my mind was, what do we want to be when we grow up? Granted, the city had been around for a number of years, but we were still, in my mind, sort of hovering on just where we wanted to go.
What direction?
We had an old town that was still kind of working for a real identity, and we had the Ward 2 section where we have a number of controlled communities, and to some degree they weren't coming together. That's changing.
Yes.
That's changing a great deal. And so it's really pleasing to see how over the years and my service to the city over those years has really seen the kinds of changes that have made our city what it is today.
And thank you. Thank you. You and the other council members have done a tremendous job in making sure that we keep doing that smart growth and moving in that direction where the community, as diverse as it is, feels like they can come together.
Absolutely.
So thank you again.
Thank you.
All right, anything else?
That's it.
That was perfect. All right, thank you so much for taking, I know you're busy, so thank you so much for taking the time to come in today. Really appreciate it.
I appreciate you having me.
All right.
Thank you.
And thank you for watching. We'll make sure to tune in. We're going to do this every month. Our next guest will be Honorable Valerie Nicholas. She will be here to talk, as we had mentioned, about her passion with the homeless and domestic violence. So we'll look forward to seeing you then. Thank you.